Hey, let's talk about Overwatch 2's Halloween event. So first, let's start with the good. The PvE event itself. It shows promise. When I first played it, I was kinda surprised at how complex and in-depth it was. Now, don't get me wrong, I am in no capacity saying that this is the best thing I've ever played. The event itself is still pretty average in most regards, but I see big potential. I think that the first 6 months to a year, the PvE events that are gonna be made in that time frame are probably gonna be pretty average. But I think that after a year, after they learn what works and what doesn't, and refine the events as time goes on, eventually, I can see them doing great things with PvE events. Now let's get to the bad. I dislike that after you do the PvE event, there's no reason to keep playing unless you just want to play the game. In Overwatch 1, or the original Overwatch, after you played the arcade mode that came with the event, you were able to farm the event for loot boxes, in the hopes that you get the skin from the event that you wanted. In Overwatch 2, you either buy the skin or don't get it. And now you might say that, oh, skins don't matter. They don't affect gameplay. And yes, that is true. I'm more annoyed that they removed the ability for you to farm loot boxes for skins. Now I know that's because they chose to replace the loot box system with the unfortunately popular battle pass system, but let me tell you why that's a problem. With the removal of loot boxes, Overwatch 2 has opted for a shop system for seasonal event skins. Pretty much if you wanted a seasonal event skin, you buy it and it's yours. Simple, right? Now, while some people understandably prefer this option, I don't, and here's why. Towards the end of Overwatch 1's lifespan, I basically stopped playing primarily because of other games catching my attention, combined with the gradual loss of interest for Overwatch that any game faces at some point. There were only two things that would grab my attention when it came to Overwatch at that time: seasonal events and the skins that they came with, and the release of new heroes. When a new hero releases, it's easy to understand why one would go back. Usually because the new hero has a new playstyle that you might enjoy or at least are curious about. Same with events. Maybe there's a skin that you really like and are considering putting in the time for to earn that skin. One personal example I have of this is when I saw the Witch Mercy skin for the first time. From that moment, I knew that I was going to grind the event as much as possible. Some other examples of me doing this are the Blackwatch Genji skin, the Sentai Genji skin, and the Casual Hanzo skin. A good chunk of my playtime probably comes from me grinding out these events. Now, with the shop system, I really don't have a reason to come back for events, because before I had a chance to earn the skins for free by just playing for a couple hours a day. Now with the shop system, I have to decide whether or not I'm willing to spend money on a skin, which is a lot more off-putting than just saying I'll put the time in for it. Now, I know that Overwatch has to make money, with it being free to play and all, but I can't help feeling like the loot box system was better because it allowed players that had disposable income and players that were willing to grind the best of both worlds. Want to lessen the grind? Buy a bunch of loot boxes. Not willing to spend cash? Grind for it. Now, while not a perfect system, it at least allowed everyone the option to acquire and enjoy the new skins. And a nice byproduct of having earnable skins is that your player base jumps up a bit, keeping it alive longer, which is pretty important for a live service game. With the addition of the shop, I now have one less reason to come back to Overwatch should I lose interest. But anyway, thanks for stopping by, I hope to see you again, and as always, have a wonderful morning, noon, or night. Goodbye.